Morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the new SkyTech TK106 camera quadcopter. Now, the SkyTech TK106 is a 2 megapixel, slightly larger than a nano quadcopter, but again, it's 2 megapixel 720p camera. But looking at this camera, the camera is slightly pointed. Well, it is not slightly pointed, it's 45 degrees downward. So the quadcopter, I'll tell you right now, is going to give quite a bit of ground. So if you want to use this, you're going to want to place it directly overhead and photograph the object that you're want to photograph by flying this more or less 45 degrees off from its position. You're not likely going to be able to see the horizon with this quadcopter with the way the lens is pointed. Now, the quadcopter has quite a big battery in it, and that should be able to give it, I believe it's 220 milliampere hour in this little quadcopter, and that should give it a relatively good flight time, and particularly you should be able to power that HD camera that this quadcopter has. Now, with that battery is a big battery. It's got a big battery bay, but the way you attach this battery, you got to more or less, it is very difficult to stuff the battery cables back in and close this door. So, you're going to break the door if you keep trying to stuff it in. You break something. But this door is easily removable. It's just clipped on. So I recommend removing the door entirely and forgetting about trying to stuff those cables in, because you're going to break something doing that. And on top of that, the quadcopter does have an on-off switch. And that battery's snug in there, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. So we're going to leave the battery door off for today's flight. Let's go over the controller real quick before the flight. The upper button left is for flips. The upper button, shoulder button right, is for rates. You activate photos by pressing this button, and activate video, turning it on and off by pressing that button there. These buttons here are for yaw trim. These are for pitch trim. These are for roll trim, and it does have headless mode, which you activate by that button there. The controller also has a USB charging port. If you wish to charge the quadcopter in the field, you may do so with the provided charger by just plugging it in there and running it off the quadcopter's batteries. But that probably will take a long time, and I'm not going to demonstrate that today. So, okay, let's go into flight with the little quadcopter. We're going to turn it on right now and place it on a relatively flat and level surface. And we have a slight breeze today, so I'm going to go into intermediate rate or I rate. And binding the quadcopter, the quadcopter's on, and that's our headless mode direction. I'm setting the rate. It has intermediate and expert, and I'm going right into headless mode just to demonstrate that off the get-go. Okay, so there's the headless mode. I'm giving it roll to show, or yaw to show that it is indeed in headless mode. By the way, this is a good flyer, I can tell you right now. I'm surprised. Okay, let's bring it in. I'm going to land it for a second. Dang. Okay. The headless mode works very well on this, and this has plenty of power, which is great. Okay, but I'm going to come out of headless mode now. And we're going to go up and demonstrate flips real quick. Am I still in headless mode? Yes, I am. Hold on. Okay, now we're flying normally. Flip. What I got to do, hold it down? Maybe I got to hold the button down. Yeah, you got to hold the button down to flip. Good flyer. In the wind, by the way. I got a wind here today. Okay, that's enough of that. Trying to fight this wind. One more time. Land it. And we're going to take off with the camera engaged. That wind is picking up big time. I hear jets off in the distance. I'm looking for them and not seeing, but they sure are making a lot of noise out there. Okay, camera or video camera coming on. And I see a flashing red light, which is telling me the camera is recording. We'll take off from that position there. Hopefully they won't cut the grass too much. And away we go. Demonstrate that video camera. And go up by the lights. Folks, I did not do that. I had the throttle turned off and it was still flying away from me. I should have tried something before we took off. Namely, to test it for its flyaway potential on this quadcopter. I was up about 20 meters and it kept on climbing. Okay, let's turn off that video. Video is off. By the way, all it came off was the one of the landing gear skids. But let's check that flyaway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the quadcopter, and we're going to. Oh, I bent one of the props too. Let me unbend that prop first. Prop is unbent. That one's bent too. Prop is unbent. Let's see what happens here when you turn off the transmitter. Okay, transmitter coming off now. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007. It runs for a good 7 seconds. So when you fly out of range of the transmitter, that is a potential for flyaway, unfortunately. So I'm sorry about that. But let's send it back up again, and we'll get one more demonstration of the video of this quadcopter. And turning on the camera, or turning on the transmitter to rebind to the quadcopter. Okay, transmitter's rebound. Activating the camera one more time, and we are recording. And this time I'm going to send it up not too high, because I don't want to fly out of range, but we'll send it upwind, right about there, and turn it toward me. Show me. And this time we're going to keep it close. Yeah, the range on this isn't very good either. It appears to be about 20 meters. So it goes out of range very easily. And once it goes out of range, you lose control of the quadcopter. Turning it around. Hello again. I'm just going to fly over my position repeatedly here. Show its quadcopter, but again, it's more or less for showing yourself, taking a selfie of yourself on the ground. And I'll just do that. We'll just take selfies of myself. My favorite subject next to my wife and dog for taking videos. Okay. What was the rates again? Well, we're flying pretty low rate here. So we're just going to demonstrate the camera by flying into the sun. Luckily we have somewhat of an overcast today. Let me see if I can send it up higher. Oh, that's sunlight. Okay, losing control there for a second. You know, that's during that 7 seconds, it tries to regain control or regain the transmitter. But if you're already flying away from the transmitter, it's unlikely that it will. Okay, sending it back up again. And this is how you fly it, you know, to get that picture on the ground, your selfie. I hear another jet flying by off in the distance. Boy, they're loud as heck. But he's way up there. Okay, the battery's starting to get sluggish. I'm going to turn off the video. And we'll bring it in close for the remainder of the flight until it drops to show you it and get a selfie. Or thumbnail of this. Thumbnail tips. Now that power bank charged this up very well, didn't it? I'll include a link to that power bank, because you know, I recommend it actually. If you fly these little mini quads, these nanos, and micros. If you take several with you out into the field when you go flying, you know, you can charge one or two up while you're flying and maybe actually get a couple of those power banks. They're only $13. They're cheap, you know, to keep you flying when you're out in the field. You know, although this one comes with a USB charger, you'd be charging off the little AA batteries in here, and the power bank is much more powerful than these AA's. I'm trying to fight this wind here today. It's doing it. It has the power. It has the power. It's just that it has short range and it has a little bit of flyaway issue there. About 7 seconds again, folks, if you fly out of range. I like the ones that cut off within 2 seconds. 7 seconds is just too long. Okay, that's it. That's the flight time of the TK106. Again, 0.3 megapixel camera, quadcopter, nano quadcopter. I hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Let's adjust this and get me one more thumbnail. Quadcopter 101, signing out.